Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. We now have the next 4 stages of build kit from Knight Rider. And today we're going to be working more on the body, and we're going to be putting in the headliner. We're also going to be putting in the upper console, and we've even got something to do with the rear lights. So without further ado, let's get building. Right, so we have issue 95, and if these parts look a little bit familiar to you, well, it's because we're basically doing the same thing as we did in the last part of the last issue, building up the A pillar and the door sills and the B pillar for the other side of the car. So this is the magazine. And as you can see, these are the parts we have. And as I said, we're building up the A pillar. Got the door sill to go in. And we've also got the B pillar to go in as well. And that is it. Right, so I do have my partwork upgrades map because we are going to be flipping kit over. Obviously, when you do that, be cautious of bonnets, doors, etc., all opening, the T-tops, etc. Now, as you can probably see, this is what we've done the last time. We put in this sill here, and we put in the A pillar and B pillar here. We're just going to do the same thing on this side. So the A pillar, B pillar, and the door sill there. Right, and we are going to start off with the A pillar, and that is going to go just in here, lining up with the A pillar of the bodywork, and we're going to have a QM screw that will hold that in place just down here. Now it is going into metal, so I am just using a bit of oil as usual. Now I think I'm going to have to turn kit around. So it's just a single QM screw. It's going into here. That's in there nice and tight. But again, this is just going to flap around a bit until we get the headlining in place. I'm going to follow that up with the B pillar. And as we did before, we've got the hole just here, and that's going to go and line up with the hole just on the bodywork. So we're just going to be placing that in like so. That'll line up with the T-top, etc. Just like that. And we're going to secure that with a GM screw. Now, hopefully this isn't a fiddle like the last one was, because the other side, it took forever to try and get this screw to go in. Need just a slightly bigger bit. So just use my PH1 bit on this one. Just gives it a bit more grip. There we go. So that's gone in absolutely perfectly. And before we do anything else on kit now, we need to build up the sill like we did before. And we're going to do that by combining these two parts together, just like we did before. So we've got that little peg, and we've got the two holes that will pop over the two lugs there. try and get that pin pushed in. Doesn't actually want to go in. Right, so we've got that in like that. And then we've got 2 AP screws that are going to go in there. Now, obviously, no need for oil because these are just going into plastic. 1. And 2. Just like so. Now we need to place this into the door sill here. Now, just like we did before, we've got the holes along here. This is going to sit just here and line up with those holes. Once you put it the right way around, that's just going to sit in there, and then we've got the 3 holes there, and we're going to use the QM screws for those. Do need the smaller screwdriver bit for that one though. So back to the pH 0 bit. Just again place that over the sill like that. Now I think last time I did the middle one first, which helped line everything up. Now if you've been following along with the build, you will know that the door didn't quite shut properly on one of these, which was the driver's side door. FanHome have sent me a new door, and as you can see, it does shut absolutely perfectly now. Right, so we've got that in there now, and that is all there is to do in that stage. Right, so here we have issue 96, and as you can see, we've got the upper console there. And just doing a quick flick through the magazine, and then as you can see, we've got the upper console and all the parts for that. We are going to need an LED from the car. I'm placing those in, and then we'll end up with something that looks just like that. Right, so I've got the 2 LEDs from the car. These are the ones labeled W and K, which is a black and red one, and we've got a green and red one. And the first thing we're going to be doing is taking this reflector, and we're going to be using the K labeled wire, which is the black and red one, and then that is just going into that hole that you can see there. Interesting enough that they've made this obviously all reflector. They didn't do that in the dash, and obviously I did that previously, so interesting to see how their models go, because it would have been nice to have seen that in the dash. It helped disperse the light and light those up. But anyway, that's beside the point. We're continuing on with this one. We now need the center console part. We need this painted clear part. Again, I have to say that this is probably a better part than what we had in the dash. Just interesting to see how their quality control goes. So we're just going to place that in there like that. So as you can see, all buttons come through. And then, oops, once we've got that in there, and it stays, we have this piece that's going to go up and over the top like so. That's going to be held in place with a BP screw. In fact, I think we only got BP screws for this magazine. So that's now in there. And obviously we're going to need to ensure that this wire, this LED, folds down flat like so. We then have this piece that will go into this slot. Now, don't know if there is a right and a wrong way. Obviously, you've got the buttons here that do make a little bit of a difference. Just looking at the instructions, and according to the instructions, the lights go in this way around, so that we have the green button to this corner here. And once we've got that one in, we've got the reflector for it, and that's going to sit just behind it like so. And you guessed it, a BP screw will secure that in place. So it's looking just like so. And then we need to take our other LED, and we're going to be placing that into the hole there. And just making sure that it does go in all the way. And obviously we want to make sure that we can bend this backwards like so. So just make sure that when you're putting your LEDs in, that they are that way round, so you're not going to be hitting one or two of the legs together. And the final thing we have to do, we've got a sticker, and we're just going to be taping the LED wires down so they don't move. And it suggests to put it just here. So we've got those now taped down into that channel to the side there, like so. And that is all there is to do in that stage. But I will be keeping that close by because we're going to need that for the next stage. Right, so issue 97. And again, just give you a little bit of a flick through the magazine. And as you can see, we're still working on this part, which is the interior and the roof lining. And as I said, we're going to need our bit we created just a moment ago, and we're going to be adding that in. And then we will be adding that into the car. Right, so here we have the head lining. And as I said, we are going to need this almost straight away. That tape has not held that down at all. So let's just give it a good squish down. Hopefully it will stay this time. Now we are passing these two wires through this hole. and obviously placing that console on to the roof lining. Now it's a bit interesting where they asked us to put tape. It's now come through. So I'm just going to use that tape, I think, just to stick those in place along there. That should be fine, like that. So just trying to line up the holes with the posts on this head lining. There we go. Right, so that's now in there. You can see it's sitting correctly. Now we're going to need some BP screws. One there, and one there. And then the final one is going in just here. Like so. So we've got something that looks just like that. Now we do need to tape these down. We've got a couple of stickers here for that. Just trying to ensure that the wires lay flat. And the wires are going to come round this way. So we're just going to stick one of these across here. Like so. And then we're going to get them to come round this way, and they're going to come out sort of this area here. So the other bit of tape is going to go just here. So we've now got both wires just running like that and out of that corner. Now I do have these seat belts to go in. And it looks like all we need to be doing is placing that end through, like so. And we just need to put a screw through the end, like we did with the rear seat belts in the interior. We're going to use a KP screw for that. Now the KP screws, as you can see, do have quite a nice sharp point on them. So we just need to hold the seatbelt in place and sort of stab the screw through the seatbelt and then screw it into the hole. Just like that. And as you can see, that will hold it like would say. The same for the other side. So we've got the two seat belts coming down like so. And now we need to make some room because we are going to bring the car over. And we're going to be placing the head lining into kit. You'll see, ensuring that the wires and the seat belts are not trapped underneath. We're going to just place it in like so. See, making sure that your A-pillars are lining up properly because this will hold those A-pillars in place now. And we're going to use some GM screws to secure it in place. Now we've got 4 holes, as you can see, and that's where the GM screws are going to go. Obviously, when doing a job like this, a mat like this is absolutely brilliant. If you're doing it on anything a bit more solid, maybe using a towel and your workbench, obviously when pushing down on here, you want to be careful not to put too much pressure on, because you might end up cracking the windshield or the T-tops. Obviously, this has a nice bounce and cushion in it, so I can put a bit of pressure on it without risking damaging any of the components like that. But that is all there is to do in that stage. Now, for the next stage, we do not need the body. We just need a couple of LEDs from the chassis. So I'll put this to one side and we'll continue with the next stage. Right, so moving on to the last issue for this build pack. And this is issue 98. And again, just a quick scour through the magazine. And as you can see, we've got the rear lights, which we've got there. So we're going to need a couple of cables from the car, which I've got. These are the ones labelled E. And we're really not doing a lot. We're just putting those LEDs in, and we're taping them in place, and that is it. So let's get on and do that. Right, so as I said, I've got the cables labelled E from the back of the car. Now, we do have a long and a short cable, so we do need to make sure these are the right way round. And with this notch at the top here, the short side is going into here. And we're just pushing those LEDs in, like so. And then we've got the longer ones just going in here, like so. So as I said, notch at the top, long side on this one, short side on this one here. And then all we're going to do is we're going to bend those lights down, like so. And then we're going to take the cable and we're just going to run it along there, like so. And then we're going to use some tape just to tape that in place. So just one piece in there. We can put another piece just here. And then obviously when it comes to gathering up these wires as well, you need to make sure that those ones run along there. Those ones also run along there. And then the last bit of tape, it says to put just here. So that will be going just like this. That'll hold all those LEDs and all the cables just like that. So we have something that looks like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage and all there is to do in that issue. That's what it's looking like with the cover on, like that. That's looking pretty good. So we're going to want to keep this nice and safe. Obviously don't want to scratch that or put any marks on this. Now there's probably need a polish before it actually goes into the car because I've put my fingerprints all over it. But that's all there is to do in that build pack. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please remember to give me a big thumbs up. As always, if you can leave comments below, I always read them and I always try and respond to them. It's always nice to get some interaction on the channel. If you want to see more of how KITT progresses or anything else that goes on in the workshop, please do remember to hit that subscribe button and ding that bell, and then you'll be notified when I release a new video. Until the next time, I'll see you around. Cheers!